माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा जम सुंदर जय राधा जम सुंदर जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा गो प्रमानंदे हरि गो देवों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज कचर अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमते श्री भक्त वेदांत संस्कृत की जय देवों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज कचर अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमते श्री भक्त सिद्धांत ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगमय यमुनामयी की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हल्लोरीश्वर मुरली हरे कृष्ण हल्लोरीश्वर मुरली हरे कृष्ण हल्लोरीश्वर मुरली हरे कृष्ण हल्लोरी श्री गुरु and गौरंगा बहुत जय ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधान नमस्ते सारस्वत देवे गौरवाणी प्रचार निर्विशेष शून्यवाद Pachachadistan. Reading from Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskritcharam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayan Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bodhinashtiki Harihi Om Tat Sat. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Contents of Gita summarized, verse number 13 and 14 in for today. Very famous verses. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tata dehantara prapti dhirastatra namuhyati. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara तथा देहांतर प्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र नमुह्यति देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहांतर प्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र नमुह्यति. Dehina, of the embodied, Asmin, in this, Yata, as, Dehe, in the body, Kaumaram, boyhood, Yavanam, youth, Jara, old age, Tata, similarly, Deha, Antara, of transference of the body, Prapti, achievement, Dhira, the sober, Tatra, thereupon, Na, never, Muhyati, is a deluded. Translation by Srivange Sesi Bhakti Vedanta, Sanskopaz ki jai. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youthhood and to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. To repeat, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Verse number 14. Matra sparsastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkada agama payino anityastam stitikshava bharata. Matra sparsastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkada आगमापायिनो अनित्या तां स्थितिक्षव भारत मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेया शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदा आगमापायिनो अनित्या तां स्थितिक्षव भारत. Matra sparsa, sensory perception, two only, Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Sita, winter, Ushna, summer, Sukha, happiness, Dukkha, and pain, Da, giving, Agama, appearing, Apayana, disappearing, Anitya, non-permanent. Then all of them, Titikshava, just try to tolerate Bharata, O descendant of the Bharata dynasty. Translation by Divine Gazesi Bhaktivedanta Swami. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception. O son of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Please repeat. O son of Kunti, non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception. O sign of Bharata, one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. I'll try to understand these verses. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणम् परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। So, we're discussing Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, context of Gita summarized. We are in the second section, verse number 13 to 14. अजानुलंबित भुजो कनकावदातो संकीर्तनैकपितरो कमलायतक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो युगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो आनन्दलीलामयि विग्रहाय हेमावति च विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। So this chapter 2 had 5 sections. The first one was more doubts, Arjuna's further doubts and surrender. 11 to 30 is today's section. Today's verses are in the second section. Fight. There is no death for the soul, or Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Next section is 31 to 38, which is Karma Kanda. Fight by performing prescribed duty. Then the fourth section is Buddhi Yoga, 39 to 53, or Nishkama Karma, Buddhi Yoga, fight without any reactions. And then last section is Samadhi, 54-7 to Sthita Prajna, fight, become fixed in Krishna consciousness. So gradually removing the doubts, surrendering, Arjuna surrendering to Lord Krishna as spiritual master, and then understanding the first basic transcendental knowledge, what is body, what is soul, or Sankhya Yoga, then gradually entering what is duty, karma, then okay, don't be attached to result, perform your duty without attached results, Nishkama Karma Yoga, or Buddhi Yoga, then gradually coming to the Bhakti, pure Bhakti, and come to the Samadhis. In this way, gradual elevation, gradually Krishna is explaining. And so now today's verse is देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहांत प्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यते. So important word is dhira. Basically here it is dehina, dehe, dehi. Two are different. Deha means body. Dehi means the soul. What is happening here? The soul is accepting this, entering into one body, and then again another body. It's changing. Dehina asmin yata dehe. Currently, this soul is accepted particular body, and then from it is changing from one to another. Kaumaram, youthhood, boyhood, and yavanam, youthhood. Jara means old age. And same way, after giving up this body, tata dehantar prapti, derastatra namuhyati. One who is sober, one who is intelligent, then he will not be conditioned, he will not become bewildered by such a change. Because in the question, so that's why here one must be dhira, one must not be aggrieved. Just like the example, because the question, the previous verse, Krishna is saying, "Na tu jatu nasam natvam neme janadipa, na chaiva bhavishyama." So, param vayam. We are there. Arjuna, you are there. Bhishma, Drona, all the Kurus assembled in this battlefield, they're all there. I was there previously. Currently, we're all there. You can see everybody. In future also, every one of us are going to be there. So that is what he said. Now, the question is, How we are going to, we are going to exist, but then how we are going to exist? That is the question. So then that's why Krishna is speaking this verse, how they are going to exist. So Krishna is telling here that the fundamentals, just like the very simple example Prabhupada gives, this concept of change of this body, soul is accepting one body entering another body. It's all based on the what credits we have accumulated. Just like you look at apartment, most of us have lived in apartment. So today we are in one apartment, but really, are we when we are in the apartment, are we the proprietor or are we the tenant? Are we the occupier or are we the proprietor? That we are doing. The soul entering into this body is compared with like that. Means so we are the occupier. Currently, the soul is occupying this particular body as we have right now. Same way, the tenant is occupying a particular apartment. Proprietor is somebody else, landlord. And so, same way, this currently the proprietor, who is actual real enjoyer, real proprietor is Krishna. So we are actually entering and using this body. So he is the real body. You are the occupier. The soul is occupying this particular body. And why these different bodies will come? Because karmana daivana etrena jant karanam guna sangasad dasad janmayonishu. The reason will be the Sat and Asat both. We are accepting impermanent and permanent different types of bodies from all the way from aquatics to creepers to ants to insects to birds, different species of bird, different species of animal, different species of beasts, and then human beings and different species of human beings also. Anywhere from Vidyadharas, Kinnaras to Kimpurushas to demigods to all those various grades of human beings, all this. It is exactly like the apartment where you're entering. Depending on your paying, what kind of rent you'll pay, accordingly you will enter into unclean apartment, cleaner apartment, single bedroom or the two bedroom or three bedroom or spacious. All those things matter depending on how much you pay. So what that payment in nothing but in the terms of pious credits, karma. According to the karma we have performed in the past life, then we are receiving a particular type of the soul is taking up a body because of the fruitive activity as performed in the past. Pious, impious, both are fruitive. If he performs akarma, which means pure devotional activity, which doesn't bind the soul, then he will attain spiritual body. But until that point, then he has to accept this. Minute something we accept as temporary, then the anxiety is always there because our absorption is there. So an attachment is there. Mm. So just like imagine some pin while walking, sometimes the pin or the or the bolt or something sharp things goes into our feet. It's very delicate and it enters into the feet, and to remove it, it's so painful. Sometimes the more deeper it goes, more absorption we have, and more difficult and pain and suffering and anxiety is there. So it is the same way because the gross body, the subtle body, and the soul. This is a layer after layer. Indriyani parani ahur, indriyapya paramana, manasastu parabuddhe paravastu saha. So the gross body consists of just like the apartment. The apartment is a wonderful example. The apartment is made up of what? A brick, stone, water, concrete, cement. Same way. What this gross body is made up of? Whether you take ant body or demigod, Brahma's body, whatever body you take, animal body, any body you take in this material, even the material universe itself is made with the five gross elements, Panchabhuta, just like apartment is made. Water, air, fire, ether. So earth. These five elements. But changes. Like in the planet where we are in earthly planet, earth is predominant. Out of five elements are common. Any body, any species of life, any body you take, all has five elements. Proportion is different. And as you go into the higher or lower, which planet you go, proportion is different. Like if you go to sun planet, the fire element is very high. So that's why that particular soul who's getting that body, depending on karma, one is entering the sun planet, he can sustain. But if with this kind of body, you can't sustain. You can't even go a little bit closer. You will be burned. Body will burn. Same thing with moon planet. So each place has a certain quotients are different percentage. In earthly planet, earth quotient is higher than other quotient. So that is how the body is made up of. So depending on how much pious, impious credits we have, we are accepting, we are getting certain type of body. Who's giving? Karmana Daiva Netrena. The under the direction, divine intervention, direction of the Supreme Lord, the laws of material nature is giving. Deha Yogena Dehinam. And Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj said, wherever you are getting the power, I am also getting from there only. वो असुरवर तत्साधु मन्ये असुरवर्यदेन यत्वात्मपातं गृहमन्दकोतं वनं गतो वा हरिमाश्रय. This is all. Everybody you are getting, I am getting, both we are getting from Lord Vishnu only. And because you are accepting the impermanent, this body is all in all as permanent, then sada samudvignadiyam asat gruha. Because you are accepted temporary thing as a permanent thing. So this body, gross body, because many lifetimes we are the covering is there. Gross body covered with subtle body. So in the daytime you can see gross body. You are feeling gross body. You are enjoying with the gross body. Your hands, your legs, your eating, your everything, mouth, tongue. There, this is all gross body. But in the night time, gross body is lying down, not much conscious unless somebody makes a sound. Then you wake up. The sound is very prominent. But the subtle body is the one which is acting, very active. Gross body is dull at that time. Subtle body is the one who's giving the dreams. That subtle body is nothing but mind, intelligence, ego. These three. When a soul leaves this body, then the gross body is dead. Gross body, some people throw, some people put into fire. Different things they do. So that merges these Mahabhuta, five elements which are in the body. It will merges into the universe. So, but the subtle body move out from this gross body along with the soul. Soul, super soul goes out from this subtle body, enters into another body, subtle body, but the impressions are there. Because of certain activity we have performed in this life, then we are entering into another body. Just like you are changing from one apartment, okay, or you might be moving to another house, whatever the case may be, but still it's a temporary. So 20 or 30, whatever the case may be, constantly changing. So that's what Krishna is telling. How a person, how everybody is going to exist. So everybody is going to, body is going to change. So the one sober person, he sees that change. He sees what is changing. He sees what is not changing. The soul is not changing, but the body is changing. The real proprietor, Paramatma, is the owner. I'm only the occupier. I'm accepting this temporary work because I have accepted the temporary, asat, impermanent things as permanent. So that's what Krishna is stressing here. So that's how the sober person, the intelligent person, he will not be bewildered by this change. So that's how we have to understand using the apartment, like how the apartment is made up of bricks and all these five gross elements. This body is also made of five elements. Any body, anyone in the material world, all this body except so Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna, all the incarnations. The rest, everybody else is falling under the Jiva, Jiva Tattva. So their bodies are all made up of these five elements. So material aspects are there. So that's why they are accepting. Even the demigods are accepting also this. But the more you go up, the more subtle it is. On the earthly planet, gross body, subtle body, and spirit soul is there, and super soul is there in the heart. As you go down lower planets, then the more and more gross, very less subtle. More you go up, higher planet, more body is more subtle, less gross. So Vardham Gachanta, the one who will perform goodness activity, they will attain higher planet, they will take up the body in higher planets. Either Loka, Swargaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Matyaloka, Janaloka, Maharloka, Satyaloka, Satyaloka means Brahmaloka. Or if somebody is performing abominable activities, Jangana Guna Adho Vachin Tamasa, then downward planets of Atala, Tala, Rasatala, Mahitala, Patala. And these are the lower planet, below the earthly planet. So one is passion, then Rajo, what is it? Urdhvam Gachan Satvasta, Madhya Gachan Rajasa, passion. One is predominantly, means the always mixture is there, ignorance, passion, goodness, but the more portion of passion is more than we are in the earthly planet. More portion is ignorance than lower planets, more portion goodness than higher planet, demigods. That's why they have higher empowerment because they have earned higher credit. They are more into more goodness than us. So that's why they have got higher bodies. So that is the first and foremost and fundamentals. This is the first and foremost understanding when Krishna says here, Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. That is the understanding one should have. Now, further, one must know that. So, what kind of body? Krishna is telling this is how the body is going to change from one body to another body until we give up this kind of. We have to give up this bodily concept of life or the absorption, the deep attachment. Because to the degree you attach, just like Prabhupada also used the Rolls Royce and the rickshaw. The person who is sitting in the Rolls Royce or a luxury car and he is calling, hey, rickshaw, you come. He's not a rickshaw. But he calls, he's identifying, he's also identifying, I'm having this Rolls Royce car. And the more the degree has absorption, when the accident or something happens, immediately he will be lamenting and he will be attached and so much distraught. And sometimes, depending on how much deep absorption he has, he will be lamenting and thinking about it for days and months and years. So it's a degree of the distress, a degree of attachment. These two things causes how long that kind of unhappiness, distress, anxiety will continue because of the abhinivesha, it is called. Bayam ditiya abhiniveshitasya ishat apetasya viparyayo asmriti. He forgot the permanent, but he accepted the temporary. This body is all in all gross body, not the actual spirit body. And that also we have to see. The another example is Taylor. This is also a good example. That the body is made up. Just like if you go to Taylor, what Taylor will do? Because we have a gross, we have a body, then he's going to measure our head, measure our neck, measure our shoulders, measure our hands, length and everything, and then legs. Accordingly we'll make, suit and pant and shirt. And because we have hands, he has to make the hands. We have legs, then he has to make the legs. Accordingly the tailor is going to stitch, because the gross body has it, then the dress is going to stitch also will have the that similar dress, similar skeleton, the way it looks, because the gross body, because child is making as per gross body. We are attaining this gross body because the spirit soul has a spiritual body. That's why we are attaining gross body. And because spirit soul, super soul, the Supreme Lord Himself has a spiritual Sachidananda, He never gets contaminated. Sachidananda Vigraha has the eyes, the legs, the hand, everything, but nothing material. He never becomes contaminated. He is always spiritual. He is always Sat Chitan. He is fully eternal. He is always happiness, no distress. He is not conditioned with three modes. Everything is coming from. But minute we accept that permanent aspects, and as a Krishna is Lord is the enjoyer, we are the man, we are the servant. Then Jiver Surupa Nitya Krishnadas. As long as we are in that position acting, then nothing will bewilder us, nothing will absorb us. Any temporary thing will not absorb. Otherwise, it will absorb us and we'll keep receiving different types of bodies. So that's the first thing Krishna is telling. Understand these fundamentals and then get out of this body, only concept of life. Give up this deep attachment, get to the real knowledge. That is the first and foremost important understanding. Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that give up this kind of understanding, bodily concept of life, and come to the real knowledge, real self knowledge. Because one who is learned, that is what real knowledge means. Is not based on, oh, you are Brahmana, I am Kshatriya, you are Sudra, I am Vaishya. That is not the real knowledge. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavestan Zunichayi Sapake Pandita Samadarsana. A real Pandit, he knows these all bodies. Because he has performed certain pious traits, that's why he has this body. He has a certain height, he looks like this, or whatever. Somebody has byproduct, somebody has children, somebody has no children. Everything is based on the credits only. If somebody has credits, more credits than you will get. Like that. Every species it is like that. Not only human beings, even the trees, even the animals, the birds, every species of life, if they are producing fruits, flowers, everything, then that is in mode of goodness. That has a lot of credits. Even in that species of life. In every species it is like that. One who doesn't have one who has a lot of sinful activities and no pious credits, hardly anything, then he will become like a redwood short trees. Thousands of years it will live and no use of it except the wood. No use of it. No fruits, no flowers. standing only. He has to tolerate everything. Because of the great sinful activities, hardly much pious credits are used it up, everything. Enjoyed nicely all the pious credits. That's why we have to be very careful. We may have pious credits. In this life, somebody might be very rich and enjoying. But if you utilize everything, use it up in this life, the next life, we are doomed because all the pious credits are done. Only impious credit left, then we have to suffer the consequences. So that's why we have to judiciously use everything what we have. So and properly utilize what is the need, what is the want. So that's the introspection is important. In these two verses, this throughout the Sankhya Yoga, understanding when we can give the absorption only if you understand our weakness. After learning, after hearing this knowledge, understanding what is our weakness, we have to regularly hear. Then we can tolerate and then come out of it. So that means real knowledge has to be there and then understand the weakness. That means introspection has to be there and what we have to change. More we, because if we hear only once a month, then we'll keep forgetting it. But if we hear regularly, then we'll forget. Just like the children also, will forget. And I don't want to go to school, or I don't want to do this homework, or they will forget even if you tell them. And you have to keep repeatedly tell them many times. Then gradually, once they are get into it, then they don't need to be told. They will be on their own. But many times we have to instruct them. So same way, this transcendental knowledge is also until we come to the consistent pattern. So the gross body, subtle body, mind is always distracting us. Mind is because of the many lifetimes we have taken. So that's why the real knowledge is very important. I'm not this body. That's the Shastra is describing. Sarva upadi vinirmuktam tatparatva nirmanam Rishikesh sevanam bhakti uchyate. That means the sense control is Rishikesha, Lord Vishnu, and one must give up all these designations. So that's why Sarvadharman Parityat, the word Lord Krishna is telling. You have so many designations. You are always attached. Oh, it is Indian. I'm Punjabi. I'm this. I'm that. Always constantly have this absorption. So give up all these designations. All these designations. Sarvadharman Parityat. Maam Ekam. Come to the real designation as servant of Krishna, servant of God. Accept that at least theoretically, and then try to work towards that, then that will help for you to actually attain your permanent spiritual body. But until that point, then it is very difficult so to give up. So that is the second aspect is giving up this false identification and attachment. So, and then we discussed also one is getting one type of body or another type of body is based on what kind of work is performed. Karmana Netrina Jantor Dehopote. It is based on just like the promotions also in a business or an office. One may get promoted, one may get demoted. It's based on what kind of work he does. If he does good work, then he'll be promoted. He'll go higher and higher. Same way, we also get certain type of body with certain type of credits, means the bank balance and the opulences, the beauty and children, everything. All these are based on what kind of credits, what kind of work we have done. So we also discuss how the body is grown, because the spiritual body has the senses, the hands and legs, everything. It is there because that's how Lord looks. Because super soul has, that's why soul is also has it, and we can't see it right now because we are covered. When we attain the spiritual body, when we come to the asakti and bhava stage, then we can see our original swarupa. Are we the male body? Are we the female body? Are we the deer? Are we the tree? Are we the bird? Are we the cow? So what are we in the eternal spiritual world? That will be revealed when we come to that position. But right now we are covered because we are in the lower modes of nature. So that means we have to become sober. How to get out of this bodily engagement? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Anadi karma phale puri bhavarna vajale tori varna deki upay. Somehow or the other, I have fallen into this ocean of birth, death. I do not know how to get out of it. Just like we are thrown into the ocean, however expert swimmer we may be, very difficult. Prabhupada explained that we all gone through that distress because so when we are on the sea, on the ship, I was coming in Jaladuta from all the way from India, Bombay, all the way to Boston. It took almost a month or more than a month. I celebrated Janmashtami also on the ship. So we can't even recognize where you are. It's in the ocean. Only the captain can know based on some nautical miles, based on certain things they give on the map, where you are. And so much in the ocean, there's so much, sometimes so much fog. Sometimes you hit very close to the big rocks, or some ship comes. So much anxiety and will be there. So because you are unnatural, that is another thing. When we are in the natural circumstances, natural position, especially when we are on the earth, because that is how our body, earth is the main predominant. We are safe. We feel confident, at least better than if we are on the ocean, if we are on the air, then anything could happen, but we will be in much more anxiety and distress because that is unnatural condition. So right now also this, because of the gross body we have accepted, this is unnatural right now. So just like our standing reverse, legs are up, head is down. How long can you stay? You can't stay much longer. So there is unnatural condition. So that's why because of that, the anxiety will be there. Lamentation will be there. That's why next verse Krishna is speaking. As we are changing these bodies, there will be happiness and distress because that is, whether you like it or not like it. Sometimes people may ask the question that, no, I don't believe in any of this. No, it is not a question of you believe it or not believe it. It is like the state laws, the country laws, the government laws. It is not you like it or not. I don't want to drive like this. I want to drive 100 miles. I want to drive on right side. No, it is not you liking it. The laws means it will apply. Like for all human beings, all other lower species it doesn't apply because they are not intelligent. But for human beings, it's all applied. But you can somehow or the other evade those laws because you can get away with it in material. But we can't get away with the laws of the Supreme Lord. Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. All these rules and regulations, laws are governed by the Supreme Lord with utmost uh, perfection. So there is no way one can escape from the laws of the government. Especially Durga Devi is in charge. Durga Devi has 10 hands, 10 weapons, 10 directions. No one can escape from her grip. So everything is recorded pretty much, whatever we do. So, and accordingly, Yamaraj, all these, Shastra says that eyes, all the who are the eyes, the sun is watching, the day and night, all these are personalities. All these are personalities. Sun God. Day is also personality. Night is also personality. All of them are watching. All of them are recording. So that's why our body is controlled by demigods. Everything is controlled. Every portion of our body is being controlled by a particular demigod. So that's how much we are in a precarious condition. I can understand. So that's why we have to follow what the Bhagavad Gita Lord Krishna is teaching us. So one who is Dhira, so Dhira means Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna himself is telling Uddhava that especially when you get human birth, we have to utilize Dhira's position is utilize carefully. Labdha Sudurlamedam Bahusambhavanti. After many lifetimes we are receiving human birth, then what we have to do? Manusyam Artadam Anityam Apiha Dhira. We have received this impermanent temporary body, but it should be used for purposeful end. One is sober. Because Turnam Yateta Na Patet Anumrutyam. Because imminent danger is imminent. Changing this body, giving up this body is imminent. That's what Krishna is telling Arjuna here. They, in this verse, next verse. Whether you kill or not kill, they are going to become old, they are going to die. They are going to change. Bhishma and Drona, you are so much thinking about. They are already old. Even if you don't kill, first of all, I already killed. You just need to take credit. Even if you don't kill, also they are going to change the body. They have to give up this body. They can't exist in this body. This body is only temporary. So you have to accept the another body, change the body. So that's why Krishna is telling that Labdha Sudurlamedam Bahusambhavante Manusyam Aptadam Anityam Apiha Dhira Turnam Yateta Patet Anumrutyaya Nishreyasaya Vishay Kalu Sarvatrasya. The last line is Nishreyasaya means permanent. After many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which although temporary affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection, which is attaining our original spiritual body, spiritual form. whatever that may be. And that rasa also will be revealed. What rasa we have, whether Sakya rasa, or Vatsalya rasa, or Madhur rasa, Dasya rasa, whatever rasa we have, that will be revealed. And when we come to that certain stage of perfection, which is Asakti and Bhava stage, that will be revealed. And there is a lot of flexibility there. More you attain higher and higher perfections, more independence is there. But we think we have independence now. No, actually we are controlled. Every step of the way we are being controlled. But we think we have independence, I can do whatever I like. But that's not the case. More you have the attain spiritual perfection, more we will have freedom. That's in spiritual world you can choose from. You may be a tree, you may be a bird, or you may be a male or a female body, but you can choose to take another form, another rasa. Generally, they don't change because you have perfected. You like certain rasa. You want to be in that rasa. You want to be certain way. You want to serve the Lord and others. So you will choose that rasa. But there are cases you can choose to change that rasa also. So much flexibility, so much variety. And activities are all spiritual and transcendental, and every so much unlimited happiness. That's why so the happiness, distress will come. However, whatever type of body you may take, even if you don't want, also even if you don't like, you don't have faith, still distress will come. Even though you may claim that I haven't done any sinful act in this life, no distress will come. यथा दुःखम् अयत्नतः सर्वत्र लभ्यते दैवात् यथा दुःखम् अयत्नतः सुखम् अतीन्द्रियम् दैत्य देह योगेन देहिनां यथा दुःखम् अयत सर्वत्र देवते लभ्या everywhere every species of life it is available the happiness and distress sometimes maybe somebody may have more happiness some less happiness but distress is for sure there happiness is also for sure it is there depending on the time period. Sometimes people may enjoy more in the beginning of life, sometimes later. But somehow or the other, they all have to go through the happiness and distress, each and every, including demigods. Even they also have their own difficulties they have to also face. Because as soon as the material body we accept in this material world, the anxiety is there, happiness, distress is there. So that's what Krishna is telling here. That become sober, that utilize. So don't let again fall down and take up another. So because it is available, this kind of enjoyment is available in every species of life, not only human body. So, but because you are intelligent, use it. So that Nishreyasaya means permanent happiness. Look for the permanent happiness. Don't waste it. Because this is the most rare opportunity you have received. That's how we have to use it. And one way to counteract this temporary and attain permanent body is one must hear regularly. One must hear regularly. So it is explained. Transcendental sober person who with faith and love continually hears from a realized soul about the activities of Lord Krishna with the wonderful pastimes. One who describes those activities can attain full transcendental devotion service at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Thus, all unwanted material desires, which are the heart disease of all materialistic persons, are for him quickly, completely vanquished. So that is the hearing as the topmost important aspect. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed and, all the citizens wherever he traveled from South India to all the way to North India, pretty much all directions, east, west, north, south, everywhere he traveled. Wherever he went, he told, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna, Gao Krishna, Sikha. Daytime he used to engage in worshipping the Lord and hearing, discussing Krishna Katha. In the night time, they used to engage in congregation chanting whole night in the Srivas Thakur's Srivas Angan in Mayapur Dham, Navdev Dham, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And daytime, they used to discuss Krishna Katha and engage in the worship of the Lord. So he told wherever he went that worship Krishna, chant Krishna's name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And remember him, chant, worship, and hear. These three things Lord Krishna has told. So since we told that one must hear, let's hear the beautiful descriptions of the Lord. Then we'll come back to the next verse. Now this is a description from 10th canto. Beautiful description of Lord Krishna's flute. Uh, O king, when the young ladies in Raja heard the sound of Krishna's flute, which captivated the minds of all living beings, then immediately they became captivated. They said, "Oh friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of sons of Maharaj Ananda are certainly fortunate. Those two sons enter the forest surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them. They hold their flutes to their mouths, glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavana. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision. His Lord is dressed in a charming variety of garments. Chuta Pravala Barha Stabda Palabja Malanu मालानु प्रक्त परिधान विचित्र वेशो मध्ये विरेजितो अलम पशुपाल गोष्ठ्यां रंगे यथा नटवरौ क्वच गायमानौ dressed in a charming variety of garments upon which their garlands rest, decorating themselves with peacock feathers, lotus lilies, newly grown mango sprouts, clusters of flower buds. Krishna and Balram shine forth magnificently among the assembly of cowherd boys. They look just exactly like the best of dancers appearing on a dramatic stage, and sometimes they sing. So that's why we use always the fresh flowers is the best way to best way to offer, best way to worship the Lord. Fresh flowers and fragrant flowers, and the garden flowers, same day. That is the ideal way. Prabhupada always encouraged in the beginning also. Sometimes they used to bring garland from the fridge. Prabhupada used to chastise why can't you make it today? Obviously, in Western world, it's a little difficult. In India, it's more easier. But in some of the places, some of the temples, we have gardens. They get their flowers all from the garden and make fresh garlands offer every day. That is the ideal best way. But if not, at least as much as possible, we try to offer the best flowers, fragrant flowers. At least the festival days, we should try to offer much more fragrant flowers than the usual one. So further, it is described that as soon as Lord Krishna played flute, what pious activities must have flute have performed to enjoy the nectar of Krishna's lips independently and leave only. And for whom the nectar is actually meant. The forefathers of the flute bamboo tree shed tears of pleasure. His mother, the river on whose bank the bamboo was born, feels jubilation, and therefore her blooming lotus flowers are standing like a hair on the body. Uh, Blessed are all these foolish deer because they have approached Maharaj Nanda's son, who is gorgeously dressed and is playing on his flute. Indeed, both the doe and the bucks worship the Lord with looks of love and affection. Oh, Krishna's beauty and character create a festival for everyone. Indeed, when the demigods' wives fly on the aeroplanes, their husbands catch sight of him and hear his resonant flute song, their hearts are shaken. Uh, Using their upraised ears as vessels, the cows are drinking the nectar of flute song flowing out of Krishna's mouth. The calves, their mouths full of milk from their mouths, moist nipples, stand still as they take Govinda within themselves through their tear-filled eyes and embrace him within their hearts. O mother, in the forest all the birds have risen unto the beautiful branches of the trees to see Krishna. With closed eyes, they are simply listening in silence to the sweet vibrations of his flute, and they are not attracted by any other song. Surely these birds are on the same level as great sages. When the rivers hear the flute song of Krishna, their minds begin to desire him. Thus, the flow of their currents is broken and their waters are agitated, moving around in whirlpools. Then, with the arms of their waves, the rivers embrace Murari's lotus feet and holding on to them, present offerings of lotus flowers. In the company of Balarama, all the court boys, Lord Krishna is continually vibrating his flute as he herds all the animals of Raja, even under the full heat of summer sun. Seeing this, the cloud in the sky has expanded himself out of love. He is rising high and constructing out of his own body with its multitude of flower like droplets of water, an umbrella for the sake of his friend. The aboriginal men of Vrindavan area became disturbed by lust when they saw the grass marked with reddish kumkum powder, endowed with color of Lord Krishna's lotus feet. Of all the devotees, the Govardhan hill is the best. Oh, my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balram along with their calves, cows, and cohort friends with all kinds of necessities water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, and flowers, and garlands. In this way, the hill offers respect to the Lord, being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna and Balram. Govardhan hill appears very jubilant. My dear friends, as Krishna and Balram pass through the forest with their cowboy friends leading their cows, they carry ropes to bind the cows' rear legs at the time of milking. When Lord Krishna plays his flute, the sweet music causes the moving living entities to become stunned and the non-moving trees to tremble with ecstasy. These things are certainly very wonderful. You can understand. That's why we have to hear the absorption. The material absorption will be transformed into spiritual absorption as soon as we hear this transcendental sound coming from the Sabda Brahma, coming from the spiritual world. Golokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtan. That's why it is called Sabda Brahma when it is coming from the transcendental world, when it is coming from the mouth of the pure devotee. Pure devotee. Through him we are hearing, we are understanding through Sri Prabhupada and previous acharyas. Antaya Madriya Bala Hridasa Varyo Yadrama Krishna Charana Sparsa Pramoda Manam Tanoti Sago Ganayostanoriya Paniyasuyavaza Kandara Kandamulai. How the Gordon Hill, gopis are describing how Gordon Hill arranged everything, offered everything for the service of the Lord Krishna. So that is a beauty. That's why we have to hear. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing that one must hear. By that process, automatically the absorption will be gone. The anxiety and distress, no more lament. The distress may come, but we will not lament for it. We'll move on. We know. We already seen it. It is going to come, no matter however, what when we have this material body. What is called. So, ye etat sravaye nityam yama krishnam anantyadi. Kshanam anantadi. Slokam ekam tad ardham va padam padartham eva sriddhavan yo anusruniyat punati atmanam evasa. Srimad Bhagavatam gives at least half verse, 1 verse every day one must read. One who with undeviating attention constantly recites this literature at every moment of every hour, as well as one who faithfully hears even 1 verse or a half a verse or even a single line or even a half line, certainly purifies his very self. How much potent you cannot, even a half line of Srimad Bhagavatam, because it is the form of the Supreme Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam, each and every canto is canto 1 is lotus feet, and canto 10 is lotus face, canto 11 and 12 are the mukut. So that's why it is very important to read. So the real business is the self-realization. That's what here 13th verse Krishna is describing that. Give up this temporary nature of the understanding of the temporary nature of the body, come to the eternal understanding that you are spirit soul, you are not a gross body. You are eternal. You are there previously, you are there now, you are going to have a body in the future also. Now you have to choose which body you want to do. You want to keep getting another temporary body, or you want to actually attain spiritual body. That you have to make a choice. That's what Jada Vidya Sava Mayar Vaiva Tumara Bhajan Bada. So called material happiness or advancement, more we forget our real identity, the result will be again and again we have to accept. Whether we believe it or not, believe it, law will for sure it will act. So that's why because of unnatural aspect we have accepted, that's why we are suffering. So that's why Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna is instructing that one must chant, hear, and worship the Lord. In that way, we can get out of the absorption. Now, the second verse, some of it we already described now. Matra svarchastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha agama paino anityastam tiksho bharata. Now, because distress will be there, because the body, we are temporary body, we are accepting just like in apartment. We have seen that always something or this thing or that thing breaks. Something is not working. Distress, anxiety will be there. Especially we have emergency, then we have anxiety. Fridge is not working, or when it is too hot, AC is not working, or when it is too cold, heat is not working. So these things, or no water supply stopped. So all these things, anxiety will be there. So same way the body also, when we accept this apartment has anxieties, same way when we accept this material body also, anxiety is going to come. Then what we have to do? Krishna is telling Arjuna, you know that now this temporary nature done, you must tolerate. Matras, that's why he's using. Just like your father side, the dynasty coming from the Partha, Prutu, Pandu, and Kunti Maharani. Both mother and father, both have a great dynasty. They all have told, they never gave up, they never ran out of their duty. They all worked, they all did their job, they all did their duty, Swadharma. How come you are giving up? You cannot tolerate? What is this? And then how can you be called Aryan? How can you be Bharata? How can you be um, Kaunteya? So repeatedly is bringing his relationship because Lord is also related with Kunti Maharani. So that's why he's relating. Oh, Kaunteya, Kaunteya, repeatedly. Yeah, many times Kaunteya word is used. Is it remembering to inspire? This I had explained before also. Like you, it's just natural. Like always you see in regularly everyday life. Always try to apply Krishna conscious principles. See through Chaksha, Shastra Chakshu. Then it will be much easier to tolerate when we go come to the when we enter into the aeroplane. In the aeroplane, the can you see the pilot? Most of the time, we don't see the pilot. It doesn't matter for us. We paid for the ticket. We sit in the flight. We we enter and we land. We exit at some point of time. We generally don't care. But the what they will air hostess, the announcer, what they will do? They will announce such and such pilot is coming from such and such place. Is from this place and he has this experience and so on. What is the need? There is no need because we haven't even seen the pilot. How does he look and what is he and nothing. So what is the use of hearing? It is actually to inspire. Like if somebody is talking about us, immediately our ears will poke. You want to hear what are they saying about me? Same way the pilot. Pilot has a long journey to go, 16 hours under 22 hours flight. He has to do that. So he gets inspired. Oh, they're talking about me. So he gets inspired. Same way here also Krishna is calling. Onteya, Bharata is bringing that relationship. So that's why when the pilot is introduced, is that relation immediately. As soon as oh you are from India, you are from South India, you are from North India, then immediately we talk, we discuss where you are from exactly, all those things. Same with pilot also getting inspired. They are introducing about me and my experience and whatnot, how many experience he has, all that things. So it is like that. So everything has that potential. When you look through the eyes of the Shastra, then you can understand what's happening. How this air hostess and they serve also. They do. Even though they take money and serve, but it is a good lesson for us. How the service is that is a natural propensity. One must serve. So one must serve. They are ready to serve. Obviously, they are getting money, but for us, we should serve the Lord and everybody else as the Lord's servants in that way. Then naturally, the absorption of material absorption automatically will go away. Initially, may be there because we are not into fully into service, fully into chanting, fully into hearing. Spiritual activities are not yet fully into there. That absorption is not fully manifested yet. So that's why material absorption will keep affecting us. But one who is fully into it, then automatically these outside the external things will not agitate, will not bother, will not be even disturbed. People may say so many things, or people may create so many disturbances. You will not be affected by any of that because your internal absorption is different. So you'll move on, continue. So that's what here specifically Krishna is telling Arjuna. O Kaunteya, O Bharata, Matra Sarsastu Kaunteya, Sitoshna Sukadukada Agama Paino, Agama Paino. Appearance, disappearance, Anitya, it is impermanent. What does it matter to you? Happiness, it is just like happiness, distress, cold and winter and heat. So depending on type of body, rich person or everybody has to lament and tolerate. For those who have so many riches, the luxury is too much into luxury, then any small thing happens, then immediately you will be bewildered, you will be in pain, you cannot tolerate. Or the baby, small baby, as soon as they're born, whether rich person or any person, poor person, everybody is compact in the mother's womb. The human being or the deer or animal, any species of life, everybody is compact in the mother's womb for months. That no one can, that distress anxiety is there. At that time, Shastra, Bhagavatam describes that how each and every month, what kind of limbs are being developed, especially seventh month onwards, his consciousness is fully active and he will be keep crying. Seventh to ninth month, he will be keep crying. take me out. He will pray to the Lord. So much in pain because worms are biting him. So much in pain. He's not in a compact position. Also, with so much in pain. But as soon as he comes out, he forgets. He forgets the all the distress and anxiety, whatever he went through. So that absorption. But that is so that Krishna is telling, dependent on type of body, you will get whether maybe rich or poor. So don't lament, tolerate. So these pains and pleasures are natural. It will come with that particular body. And now understand the purpose and see the bigger picture. This is not end all in all. Today you may have some distress anxiety. If the finger may hurt, doesn't mean that you will keep lamenting about it, you'll cut. No, your whole body is all right. Only the little finger, there's a problem. So neglect and more, tolerate it. Tolerate it. So it is like itchiness. So understand the purpose and see the bigger picture. Lord's desire and Guru's desire. So killing obviously is telling Arjuna, killing is bad, but because Guru's desire, Krishna wanted here to fight. So that's why you have to do the duty. So you have to tolerate. And it is not going to be easy, obviously. If somebody asks you to do a very difficult task in your office or in your business or in the community or in your home, your father or mother says, then you have to do. It's difficult. Oh, no, I can do. Yes, once or twice, but every time you can't tell the same thing. So we have to tolerate and do, even if it is difficult. So same way is telling Arjuna that yes, you can't fight, I know, based on Drona, but you have to tolerate and do because I am telling you to do the duty. Anyway, you are coming from Kshatriya, your duty is to fight. So you must do your duty, however difficult, even if it is your own family members, because it is my desire. So see the bigger picture. See the small things as small, bigger things as bigger. So the bigger thing is following my instruction, understanding my desire, you will get the greatest happiness. That is the bigger picture. Small picture, oh yeah, they are my family, they are connected with me, I can do this, I can do that. That is at a lower level of understanding. It is not the end result. You have to see the end result. One who is serving Krishna, everything will be happy at the end. So everyone will be happy by that. So that's what Krishna is mentioning is tolerate the itching. This kind of itching will do, but if you keep on scratching it, it will become a wound and it will become more blood will lose. Then at that point, why to come to that situation? Why to bring the blood out? So that's why we have to tolerate the itches, especially the sense enjoyment, senses and sense enjoyment is the biggest problem. Ya sansparsaja bhoga dukha yona yevote. Adi antamanta kunte na ramate buddha. One who's intelligent, he will tolerate. Urges may continue, senses will keep on urging the mind. Mind is the biggest culprit. So that's why mind has to be absorbed in the spiritual things, taking darshan of the Lord, hearing, chanting, some service, and engage the mind, body, and senses. All these three things, if you engage, then much easier. More we do that, it becomes much easier to tolerate and tolerate the urges and the itching sensations of the senses, especially senses and mind. So birth, death, old age is common. Happiness, distress, everyone the material world have to go through. As I explained already. Sarvatra labhyate. Whether you want it or not want it, believe it or not believe it, happiness, distress will come. So Krishna is telling you must tolerate. It is a common across any species of life, including demigod or the lowest ant, anyone you take, everyone. So now how to develop this tolerance? The power of tolerance is by hearing, power of the tolerance is by chanting, expertly. Two things one must consider this. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. One can develop the power of tolerance is by chanting the holy name with offering respect to everybody else and don't without expecting respect. Then we can develop natural tolerance because strength will be given by the holy name, Nama Prabhu, the Lord. So Lord is very merciful. So one must engage in devotion service to tolerate, to become dhira, to become peaceful, to become happy, to become unagitated. As Krishna is telling, as Lord Kapila is telling in to Mother Devoti, that gradually become unaffected by false ego, material identity, and become free from material affection, undisturbed, equal to everyone, without duality. Indeed, see himself, his mind was turned inward and was perfectly calm, like an ocean unagitated by the waves. Ocean unagitated by the waves. That means the ocean is deep. The same way, we have to become deep into the ocean of the spiritual bliss, spiritual activities. Then automatically, then no longer will be agitated. So because mind and senses, everything is absorbed in the spiritual consciousness, just like the earth is tolerating everything. Prabhupada explained that the earth is the symbol of tolerance. By deep oil drilling, atomic explosions, pollution, so on, the earth is constantly harassed by demoniac living entities. Sometimes the forests are cut down by greedy men with commercial interests. Thus, the wasteland is created. Sometimes the earth's surface is soaked by the blood of soldiers fighting in savage warfare. And despite all these circumstances, earth continues to provide all the necessities. In this way, one may learn the art of tolerance by studying the earth. So that's why we pray whenever we worship the Lord in the Upachara in the morning, 16 Upachara in all these temples. First thing is we worship the earth, Bhumi Devi, and bell. So then we start doing the all other things. But first thing is earth only. We pray because that's where we are standing. That's where we are sitting. So that's where because she is tolerating so much, maintaining all of us. So that's why we pray. Earth is also one of the mother. So more one understands that I am not this body, then he can tolerate. So otherwise, it's you can't tolerate unless you understand the higher nature of that. So that's what it is. So Krishna gives that is the quality of a devotee. Titiksha Karunika Surudo Sarvadeyan Ajata Sitro Santo Sadhavo Sadhu. This is the quality of a devotee. He always tolerates, is very merciful, is equal to all. Surudu Sarvadeni, all living entities. Everybody is trying to, as much as possible, is try to serve, try to see as Krishna's intervention, try to see as Krishna's plan. If distress comes, something unwanted things happen, but still accept. So the best way one can tolerate is by hearing and engage in devotions. How one can strengthen that is only by associating with devotee. That is the key. That is the secret of success for everything, pretty much. Prasangam ajaram pasam atmano kavayo vidu. Mokshadwaram sayeva sadhu sukrutu. Mokshadwaram apavritam. That sadhu. Associating with sadhu. Kapil Dev is instructing Mother Devhuti that only way you can cut these knots, remove this anxiety and distress, everything, is only by associating with sadhu. Saiva Prasangam, Prakrushta Rupena Asakti. This deep attachment, deep absorption will be cut, removed, so completely to the extent we associate with the devotees of the Lord, especially those who are advanced, those who are completely attached to the Lord and dedicated for the service of Guru and Krishna. By serving them, by associating with them, by hearing from them, so then we can perfectly go through this all the tests, whatever we have to, using this body, and pass the final test, attain the spiritual body. So that is the instruction from today's two verses in this Bhagavad Gita. Any questions? We'll stop here.